to TD plus TR plus TS. Okay. So in today's class, we are going to study the next topic that is called as turn-off methods. Okay. And we know that when a device is triggered, that is when a SCR is triggered, the gate loses its control over SCR. Okay, that means the gate pulse or the gate current pulse, whatever we call it as IG, it has control over the SCR only till it is triggered on or it is switched on. Once you switch the device on, at that time you cannot control the conducting SCR by the removal of the gate voltage or the gate current. So by doing this, what is happening is we are not getting the complete control over the SCR. So whenever I want that to be turned off, at that time I need to be going into a concept called as commutation. One second. So we talk about a concept called as commutation. What is this commutation? Whenever a device is conducting, the conducting device will be made to turn off by using this particular process called as commutation. So in this commutation, we are using either a resistor, inductor or a capacitor as a commutating device, and we will be making the current what is flowing through the device in a order such that the current becomes less than the holding current. While dealing with the characteristics, we have seen that whenever there is change or whenever there is increment in the current, then if the current is less than holding current, then the device will be in off condition, or IH or the holding current was a minimum current required to make our SCR in the on condition, below which the device will be off. So this condition we will utilize here, and we use a natural or a forced commutation circuitry. So here what happens is I will be trying to do or trying to turn off a device using two methods. One is called natural commutation and the second one is called forced commutation. Okay. In the next we will see what are the conditions that are to be satisfied for turning off a conducting SCR and what are its types, and we'll see natural and forced commutation as well as class A and class B commutations. Okay. So as explained, this turn off is nothing but it is a process where you are trying to turn off your conducting SCR. That is what is called as commutation. So to turn off a conducting SCR, we need to be providing a condition such that these two conditions of the SCR should be met. Okay. So the first condition states that the anode or the forward current of the SCR must be reduced to 0 or below the level of holding current. That means whenever I have the SCR which is conducting, I need to be bringing back the current to 0 or it should be brought to less than IH. IH is your holding current. This is first condition. The second condition is a sufficient reverse voltage must be applied across the SCR to regain its forward blocking state. Forward blocking state is what? we will be having the anode cathode voltage applied with a positive and negative supply voltage, so that the device will be in the forward blocking mode. After that, when we apply the gate signal, the device will be conducting. So we need to be having a reverse voltage that is applied across the SCR, which will be making the SCR to regain its forward blocking capability. Forward blocking capability is nothing but when you apply VAK, it should be forward biased, and when you apply the VG, it should be in the on condition. So to turn off a conducting SCR, we need to be seeing that these two conditions are met by the conducting SCR. Is this okay till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? Okay. So when we try to achieve these two conditions, or these two main things to be done on your SCR, we need to be seeing that whenever the SCR is turned off, by reducing the forward current to 0, you will be having the excess charge carriers. Those excess charge carriers which are present in different layers will be helping you to regain this forward voltage blocking capability. That means already there are excess carriers, they will be present in the different layers, and it should be helping you indirectly to regain your forward blocking state. That means you will be having the excess carriers that are going to be recombined. So during this particular recombination process, you will be applying your reverse voltage across the SCR. So this what happens is, by the application of a reverse voltage across the SCR, you are trying to accelerate, or you are trying to speed up the process of recombination. By this you will be having the the SCR getting its forward blocking state in a very sooner fashion. Okay. So what are the different methods we have to turn off a conducting SCR? So the SCR gets turned off by using two methods. One is called forced commutation and the second one is called natural commutation. This actually is dependent upon whether the applied input voltage is AC or DC. If the applied input voltage is AC, then the commutation type is natural commutation. If the applied input voltage is DC, then the applied commutation is forced commutation. Okay. So we'll see one by one, and then in this forced commutation I have class A to class F. Okay. So for your syllabus you are going to study about two. One is class A and the other one is class B. Okay. So there are actually class A to class F type of commutations in the forced commutation circuitry. Okay. So the first type of commutation is natural commutation. Natural commutation, as the name suggests, it is the commutation which happens on its own. That means whenever I apply a AC signal to the circuitry, at that time there will be consecutive positive as well as negative half cycles. Okay. When there is positive and negative half cycles in the AC signal, from a positive to a negative, the waveform crosses a zero. Okay, zero or a origin. So whenever it crosses a zero, then the conducting SCR will be getting a reverse voltage applied across it. Okay, just imagine that you are applying this positive half cycle, where the transformer end will be having this as positive, this as negative. Correct? So at this zero crossing, it is becoming negative half cycle from positive half cycle. So what will be the polarity across the transformer here? It will be minus here, and this is plus. That means what? Initially it was plus and minus, now it is becoming minus and plus, because of which you are making this diode get a reverse voltage applied across it. Whenever there is a reverse voltage that is getting applied, you will be getting the junction J1 and junction J3 reverse biased, junction J2 which is forward biased. So the conducting SCR turns off. So that is what is natural commutation. So basically natural commutation is used whenever we have the supply voltage as AC signal. Okay, but whenever we have your DC signal, at that time we will be dealing with the next one. Fine. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll discuss about the natural commutation with this particular circuitry and this waveform. So what is happening here is we have applied a sinusoidal signal. Assume that this is a secondary of the transformer and we are getting Vs which is equal to Vm sin omega t. So Vm sin omega t is the voltage that is applied across the transformer, and the same applied input voltage will be applied to the SCR. Okay, when the device is getting the applied input voltage, you will be getting the current. Okay, then you can observe from your waveform that this is the IG pulse. IG pulse is, it is the gate current, and note that the gate current is applied at the exact t is equal to 0. That means as soon as there is a generation of a positive half cycle, you will be getting your device in the on condition. Okay, so what happens is, initially assume that we are in a positive half cycle, so the positive half cycle will give me this as positive and this is negative, because of which the anode is getting a positive supply, cathode is getting the negative supply. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if you are not understanding any part of the circuitry or waveform, please stop me there and ask. Okay. Then this is positive, this is negative, by which the anode gets positive supply, cathode gets negative supply. When I supply anode and cathode with positive and negative polarity, at that time, what happens to the junction diagram inside the SCR? What happens to the junction diagram? We have seen layer structure, correct? It has 4 layers and it has 3 junctions. So when I apply anode of SCR with a positive supply and cathode with a negative supply, what is happening in the junction J1, J2 and J3? Somebody please respond. Did you people get my question? Akshata?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what's happening in the junction diagram J1, J2, J3. Junction J1 is?
Mm.
1 second. This we have done in the beginning only, and in every class I have told you the same. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was our SCR, correct? This was a layer structure where I had this as P, this as N layer, this is again P layer, and this one is N layer, correct? So this was my junction J1, 2, and this was junction J3, correct? This is your anode, this is your cathode, and this terminal is gate. Getting it? So my question was, when I connect a supply voltage like this, what will be happening across the junction J1, J2, J3? When I apply here, say a positive power supply, and this is a negative power supply. So what is happening? Anode P layer is getting a positive power supply, cathode N layer is getting a negative power supply, and it will make your this junction and this junction to be in forward bias. Following? Whereas this junction J2, which will be in reverse bias. This is what I was asking. Getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So, the application of a positive and a negative power supply across the device will make your device in such a way that you will be getting the device junction J1 and J3 getting forward bias, J2 getting reverse bias. When the junction J2 is reverse biased, you are not allowed to transfer the electrons or the charge carriers to move from anode to cathode, because this junction is reverse biased. So you will be allowing only a small amount of leakage current, that too because of the minority charge carriers. It will be crossing this junction and you will be getting the small amount of minute current, anode current, what will be flowing in the circuitry. Then what happens is, after the application of the gate signal, you will be getting the higher and higher amount of anode current. Okay, and here I'll be having the IH value. If I bring back the anode current less than this IH, then the device will be turned off. So this is by the application of a VBO. If I have something called as IG1, IG2, then I will be getting this as my characteristic curve. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So next what happens is, you have your SCR in forward bias. So you are waiting for the gate pulse. and note that this gate pulse is being applied at t is equal to 0. When it is applied at t is equal to 0, what happens? Your SCR is already in forward blocking mode and you are supplying this gate current, so because of which the device conducts. When the device conducts, there is a flow of current from anode to cathode and it flows across the load. Correct? So what happens is at t is equal to 0, I am supplying the gate pulse. So because of which the complete positive half cycle will be appearing across the load. So this is what is IL, and IL is nothing but the voltage, sorry, the current what is getting across the load it is. So then we said that to have a turn off condition in the SCR, we need to be using something called as these two conditions. The first condition is we need to be bringing back the anode voltage, sorry, anode current less than the holding current. And the second one is we need to be having a proper reverse voltage applied across it. Okay. So these two conditions should be met by this particular circuitry. Next, what happens is here in the zero crossing, observe carefully here. Here in the zero crossing, what is happening is you have your load current which is up to whatever is your applied input voltage. Okay, this is same. This is because the gate pulse is applied at t is equal to 0. If the same gate pulse is applied at this particular instant, then this portion of the waveform will be H or it will be clipped off. Okay, at this zero crossing, what is happening is your positive half cycle of input cycle is getting converted into a negative half cycle. When it is getting converted into negative half cycle, what happens to the supply voltage on the transformer side? It will be changing from plus minus to minus plus. Are you following this?
Yes, ma'am.
Getting? This one we have applied here plus minus, because of which junction J1 and J3 are forward biased, J2 is reverse biased. Whereas now what I am trying to do is I am trying to reverse this. So on reversal of this, what I'll get, the applied input voltage will be negative and then positive. Okay, here it is represented actually with a DC power supply, but what is happening here is you will be getting the SCR connected with the AC power supply. Actually I should draw like that only. So we will be having a AC power supply, and this AC power supply will be during positive half cycle the value is plus and then minus, and during negative half cycle the value is minus and plus. This minus and plus, it will make the junction J1 and junction J3 in reverse bias, whereas junction J2 is only forward biased. As the junction J2 is only forward biased, you are not allowing the current to flow through. So you have this positive half cycle and a negative half cycle. During this negative half cycle, what is happening is you are reversing the supply voltage across the SCR, because of which the device J2 is forward biased and the other two are reverse biased. So then what happens is you will be having your device getting a proper amount of reverse voltage applied across it. So when I apply the reverse voltage across it, then it is waiting for the positive power supply to be applied. That means it is waiting for this condition to be applied to the SCR, and as soon as it is applied, then the junction J1, J2 becomes forward biased, and as soon as you apply the gate signal, you will be getting your device in the on condition. Are you following till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So then what happens? Yeah, listen. So then what happens is, during the zero crossing of this, the junction SCR is getting reverse biased and it is waiting for the positive signal to be applied. So the device remains in off condition. That means here in natural commutation, by the application of a AC signal, on every zero crossing, the conducting device will be turned off. So here the device is turned off. Then what happens at this zero crossing is, you are making the supply voltage again from minus plus to plus minus, because of which the SCR gets forward biased and junction J1 and J3 will be forward biased and J2 will be reverse biased. And at t is equal to, say t is equal to 0 to pi, pi to 2 pi, you will be getting a gate pulse. As soon as it gets a gate pulse, it has got already the forward blocking state, so the SCR will be conducting and it allows the current to flow from anode to cathode. So whatever is my input signal, that I will be getting at the output side. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
are others. Akash. Akash Bogar, Chetan. Karthik.
Yes, ma'am.
Understanding the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood this? The process of commutation. Chetan.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood, right? Understood the concept? Chetan, I am asking you only. Shall we move to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
So next what we have is forced commutation. Forced commutation is nothing but, here the supply voltage is by default a DC. Okay, we are applying a direct current to the device and by default the DC supply voltage will be applied to the circuitry. Then in case of this DC circuit, you will not be having any zero crossing. So no zero crossing, no turning off of SCR during the zero crossing. In this particular circuitries, what we need to do is, we should be bringing the current that is flowing across the device to be less than the holding current. Okay, in natural commutation we have done the second condition. Here we should see that the first condition is implied. Okay, when we try to implement the first condition, then we divert the current what is flowing in the device through the commutating circuitry, so that you will be getting the current what is flowing will be diverted to some other wing, and the current what is flowing through the SCR is brought back to less than holding current. That is what is the funda behind forced commutation. Okay, so here the forward current or the anode current will be forced to 0. Okay, so by using the external circuitry, so we are forcing the current to get the value equal to 0 or is equal to holding current. So the name called as forced commutation for this particular circuitry. So here what happens is, we will be having depending upon what type of arrangement or depending upon what is my commutating device, whether it is a SCR, whether it is a diode, whether it is a resistor, capacitor or an inductor, we will be classifying them into class A, B, C, D, E and F commutation. Okay, this commutation circuits, whatever we have, these are mainly used in the chopper and inverter circuits because I want the device SCR to be operated as a switch. When I want it to be operated as a switch, then what I have to do, I should be able to easily turn it on as well as turn it off. When I try to turn it on, I'll supply the gate voltage and gate current and the device will be on. But whenever I want that to be turned off, then I will be using these class A to class F circuits so that the device is easily turned off. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the last syllabus, actually, this was a separate module or separate unit where we will be learning all your combinations, class A to class F. But for your syllabus, you have only two. One is called class A and the second one is class F. Okay. So the first one is class A commutation. In this class A commutation, what is trying, sorry, one second. Yeah. In this class A commutation, what is happening is, this is called as self commutation, or this is also called as resonant commutation or a load commutation. Okay. So here actually what we are trying to do is, the source of commutation voltage is in the load. That means the commutation voltage whatever we have, that will be lying in this particular load part. Here you can see that we have used R, L and then C. This is a equivalent circuit. Here what is happening is a load is in parallel with a capacitor, whereas here it will be in series. Okay. So in these two conditions we have considered R as a load, and whenever the load is in parallel or in series, then the circuit looks like this. So this L and C combination whatever we have, these are the commutating components. Okay. So commutating components are nothing but whenever the current is allowed to flow through them, they hold some amount of voltage. And whenever the device is reverse biased, at that time the same value will be given back. Okay. So this is the circuit arrangement and this is a waveform. So we'll understand what is happening in the circuitry. Okay. So see that this is applied with a DC supply voltage and it makes junction J1 and junction J2 forward bias, and the waveform what you are observing is at t is equal to 0 I have the Ig, so the SCR starts conducting and the current is allowed to flow through anode to cathode. Okay. When the same current flows through this particular path, then what happens is the inductor, it is like an energy source. Okay, whenever the current passes through it, it generates some amount of voltage called as L into di by dt. VL, which is the voltage across the inductor, that is equal to L into di by dt. That means it is multiplying the inductance value with the rate of change of current through it. And as soon as the current starts flowing through it, it will be holding a charge called as VL. Following till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And the current passes through this capacitor as well as this load. Okay. So when the current passes through the capacitor, what happens is the capacitor voltage goes on incrementing. Correct? So this is what is the gradual increase in the capacitor voltage. Then I said inductor will hold some amount of charge, that is VL is equal to L into di by dt, and this will also hold some amount of charge. This amount of charge whatever we have here will be equal to C into dV by dt. That means, yeah, C into dV by dt is your rate of change of voltage across the capacitor with the capacitance value. Next what happens is, after this instant the capacitor has charged to the maximum. Okay, so the capacitor has a property such that once it charges to the maximum it has to discharge. Okay, when the capacitor tries to discharge, at that time what happens, it cannot discharge through this particular load, correct? It discharges through the conducting SCR. Following this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Or getting confused? Understanding, or are there any issues?
Ma'am, what if the inductor is behind the SCR?
Hmm?
What if we place the inductor behind the SCR?
Inductor behind the SCR. What if I place this one here?
Yeah.
That is what is the question, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
See, these L and C whatever we have, these are considered to be the commutating components. That means these two are helping me to turn off this conducting SCR. Getting my point? Whose question was that? Navneet?
Navneet.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, these two are used as commutating components which will help me when I don't want this SCR to be conducting. At that time I should be sending a reverse voltage and I should be sending a current such that the holding current of this SCR is brought back to zero or is less than the holding current. Okay, if I place this inductor here, what happens is the supply voltage what is applied will be allowing the current to pass through this inductor. Then the voltage level with what I am trying to trigger this SCR will be reduced, because it takes this inductor, if I place it here, it allows the current to pass through it and it will be taking a voltage VL which is equal to L into di by dt. One second. Yeah, understand this. I'm connecting one SCR over here and then I have a inductor and then I have a capacitor and this is my load, right? Then what happens is, I have to draw a gate. Okay. If I have the applied DC voltage going across this SCR, then it will be allowing the current IA to pass through it, or we call it as IAK, correct? And assume
Yes.
that this is what is the full scale voltage what I am applying. So the current passes through anode to cathode and the same current, that is the conducting current, passes through this inductor also. When the current passes through inductor, a voltage VL will be generated. What is this VL? This is equal to L into di by dt. What is this L into di by dt? L is the inductance value, di by dt is rate of change of current with respect to time. So as soon as the current starts to flow through the inductor, this voltage will be generated, VL. Okay, and it is with a polarity plus and minus. Then the capacitor allows the current to pass through it, so it will be making this plate negative and this plate positive with a voltage VC, which is equal to C into d V divided by dt. That is the Q, which is equal to C into V. We will be having this voltage VC, which is equal to C into dV by dt developed across this capacitor. And we know that the capacitor charges progressively or exponentially. If, according to your question, if I place this here, then what is happening is the voltage what I am getting across this anode to turn it on will be reduced. Okay, and I will not be applying, or I will not be getting the full scale voltage IAK generated through this particular SCR. Okay, and basically these two components, L and C, whatever we have, these are considered to be the commutating components, and they are used to help you to change it to the off condition. Okay, we are not worried about what will be the circuit after we switch it off. Okay, because I am using this particular commutating component in a circuit called as, say, chopper, converter, or your hydro to electric power converter or something like that, where I want this SCR to be working as a super switch. Okay, it should switch on, switch off very easily without any hassle. So to make that, we are supplying this two component, one is called L and the other one is C. So by doing this, what we are trying to do is the capacitor charges to the maximum. Okay, I think Navneet, I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. And the source voltage is variable, right, ma'am?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it is a DC voltage. What is variable?
So,
Okay. So when the capacitor charges to the maximum, the capacitor's property is it has to discharge. When the capacitor has to discharge, it cannot discharge through the load. So it has to discharge through the conducting SCR. Now what happens is, across this SCR, there are two currents which is flowing. Okay, observe this particular carefully. One current which is flowing here, that is IAK, another current which is flowing from bottom to top. This is your capacitor current IC. Following this? Understanding the concept of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So across a SCR, there are two currents flowing. One is IAK and the second one is IC. And note that the two are flowing in opposite directions. When the current across a device is flowing in an opposite direction, then the value will be IAK or IA minus IC. This will happen. And when this gives me a value which is less than IH, then the conducting SCR turns off. Following this? Understood the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Aishwarya Kongi. Shashank. Shrish.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? Getting the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
So by making use of these two components, the commutating components, I am trying to reduce the current that is through the SCR. Whenever I have this IA minus IC that is less than IH, then the conducting SCR is turned off. This is what is the concept. Okay. I have one more. So here what happens, across your SCR, it takes this amount of time where the voltage will be negative and applied current will also be negative, because of which the device will be in the off condition. Okay. So similarly, we have this is called class B commutation. In this class B commutation, what happens is, you have again the components, the commutating components, that is L and C. So you can see here that the current what passes through this, here there are two concepts actually. One is when the current, when the device is on, when the device is off. When the device is on, the current passes through this and you will be getting the load, getting your load current. So whenever the load current is there, then you will be getting this as your load voltage or load current. Whenever the device is not conducting, at that, in that particular case, initially assume that this SCR is off. Okay, when the SCR is off, what happens? The current will not flow through the off device or a device which is open circuited. So the current will pass through this L and C. So L will have a voltage, that is VL is equal to L into di by dt, and this capacitor will be having a charge, that is Vc, which is equal to C into dV by dt. Then what happens is, at one particular instant, we'll be turning this device on. Turning this device on means we'll apply the gate voltage and the gate current will flow and this device will be on. So the device will be on and the conducting current will be flowing from this anode to cathode and then through the load. Then what happens is, this current will be more compared to the current what is flowing in this particular wing. Correct? So when the current across this wing is reduced and the capacitor reaches to the maximum, the capacitor will discharge. When the capacitor discharges, it has to discharge through this conducting SCR. So here there will be a current, that is IC, and one current is already flowing in the circuit, that is IA. So IA is flowing like this, IC is flowing in the opposite direction. When we do IA minus IC, the current across the device, whenever it is less than IH, the device will be turned off. Getting it? So
Yes, ma'am.
like this, the arrangement of the components, the commutating components, the inductor and capacitor will be arranged in a different fashion such that you will be getting the different commutation circuitries. So for your syllabus, you have class A and class B, that is these two. So you need to be studying this. Okay. So to summarize from today's topic, we have learnt to turn off a conducting SCR by various types, that is class A and class B. So here the Bloom's taxonomy level is level 2. That means you need to understand this particular concept of SCR commutation and its classification, as well as you need to be recalling them. Okay, whenever we ask it for the exam or whenever we ask it for the discussion, you should be able to describe. So this second level, it has classify, describe, discuss, explain. So the concept of today will be falling under level 2. Okay, and the application or importance of this one is, as the SCR cannot be easily turned off, this topic helps us to know different conditions to turn off the SCR. And this is what is the assignment question, that is explain the different turn off methods of SCR. So you can be writing here about natural commutation, forced commutation, and class A and class B. Is it okay? Any doubts so far? And you will be referring to this particular text chapter for the external materials. Okay. Any doubts now?
No, ma'am.
1 second. I'm not able to download attendance list. Okay then. Shall we wind up?